Welcome back all my fashionistas, my seamstress and my pattern makers. This is a channel where you will learn about fashion, finance and math education. Today I am going to focus on the fashion aspect of my channel and I am going to show you how to make this fabulous dress. Yes, the sleeve is a circular sleeve and at the end of the hem I've added a flounce which is also going to be from a circular pattern. You are going to trace out your sloper. So this is your sloper, and then you are going to add your seam allowances to your sloper. Okay, you're going to trace it out like this. Okay, so that is your dart end point. So you are going to trace this out. You must trace this out, and you must also trace the bottom part out. Now this is the center front, so you're going to put it on fold, and I want you to put it, show that you put it on fold from now before we even carry on. All right, this is going to be on fold, this is going to be on fold, this is going to be a fold line. This is a sloper, and because of that you are required to add your 1/2 inch seam allowance all around. You're going to need your 1/2 inch along here, also here, 1/2 inch seam allowance around and along the side. Now you can lengthen this to your desired. If you want to do 3 inches above the knee, that is fine. You can lengthen this, make sure it's the same amount that you're lengthening all across. All right, make it longer, and also add your seam allowance after you've extended your body sloper. So add your seam allowance around, because this is a dress sloper. All right, add your seam allowance around. Then you're going to measure this. All right, so measure your measurement here, and you should get 9 1/2. All right, 9 1/2. You're going to need that measurement. What I did, because if you notice on the front of my dress I have a little slit here or a V, you can do that also. And what I did, I went down 3 inches here, and then my slit was for another about 3 inches. You can do that, and you can go in 1 inch on your shoulder. Make sure this is a straight line across, 90-degree right angle that is being formed there, and you're going to curve this out. Curve out your new neckline. It's very imperative that you curve out your new neckline. Now, if you notice over here, I need to extend the seam allowance there. Extend yours for here. You add your 1/4 inch seam allowance around, all around the edges for this also. So you add a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you slit this to nothing there for the V, and you do that. All right, so that is your front. You need to measure your front armhole, and this is a great ruler for measuring your armhole, because the 1 inch is very flexible as compared to 2 inch width. All right, so use the 1 inch to measure your armhole here, the front armhole. Okay, and I got 8 3/8. Okay, 8 3/8 for my front armhole. Now I'm going to trace the back sloper. So for this one, if you notice with the sloper, it has the dart there, but I didn't want a dart on my dress. I just wanted to be free flowing, so I did not do that. I'm going to trace out the back sloper now. All right, and this is the dress form sloper. Trace this out. All right, hold this. So for this one, I just need 3/4 of an inch along the center back for the zip line. And as I said, you also have to add, I added the same amount here for the length. You have to do the same thing over here. All right, so you have to do that. You go ahead and you add your seam allowance there all along, 1/2 inch seam allowance, or whatever you desire. Some people like to work with 3/4 of an inch seam allowance. I just like 1/2 inch. All right, and you add your 1/2 inch around the armhole, because as I said, this is a sloper. Because you went in 1 inch here, you have to go in 1 inch also on the shoulder, the same amount, but you can drop this 1.5 inches to 2 inches here. That is fine. All right, drop it, and I'm going to do 1.5 inches here. So you can drop your center back neckline 1.5 inches. Make sure this is 90-degree angle. Line up with your tool. You can use this tool to do that. Okay, or you can use the French curve. That's fine. Make sure you get your 90-degree across here. Very important. Okay, so, and then you need to put in your grain line. Do not forget your grain line. All right, don't forget your grain line. So you have the center front fold. This is the center front, and this is the center back right here, and this is the grain line. Now you need to measure this, and I have 9 3/4 here. We're gonna form out the sleeve. So if you notice, one of the sleeve is just a regular setting sleeve, and the other one is a circular sleeve. So we are going to use the formula for the circumference of a circle, which is C equals pi d, or C equals 2 pi r. C equals pi d. Okay, so we are going to first, I didn't measure, go back and measure the armhole, and I got 8 5/8. Okay, so my 8 5/8, I'm going to add these. I'm going to get 17 inches there, equal pi d. We know pi, the equivalent for pi is 3.14. In this case, you can use the approximation, which is 3.14. So we will go ahead and use 3.14 here. So we're going, but I'm just going to put pi over here, and we know it's approximately 3.14. This is going to be left with d is equals to, did it on my calculator already, and it was 5.41. And you can put approximately. You might be saying, oh my gosh, that is in decimal. How do I get it in inches? In terms of inches, we know that this is a little bit less than 1/2, and it is also a little bit more than 1/4. Okay, so 1/4 would have been 0.25. 3/8 would have been 0.375. And also, if it was 7/16, it would have been 0.437. You're like, wow, that's a lot of math there. Yes, we are dealing with math because we're making a circular sleeve. So I need my measurement to be between 3/8 and 7/16 here. A little bit past the 3/8, close to the 7/16 on the ruler, and use that as a diameter. But if you need to find the radius, remember now the diameter is equals to 2r, twice the radius is the diameter. So for the radius now, we're going to get the radius, r, is going to be equal or approximately, if we have 5 3/4 eighths here, 5 3/8. It's between 5 3/8 and 7/16, which is 60. It's just a midget. I won't even so much use that in essence, but 5 3/8 here, I'm going to use that, which is the same thing as saying 5/6/16. So if I need this, I need to get half of this, which is going to be 2, carry the 1 over, which is 16/16. Half of that is 8, and half of the 3 is 11/16. You might say, wow, what is that? In essence, what this would be a little bit after 2 and between 2 and 5/8. All right. And between 2 and a half. That's what it is in not half, between 2 and 5/8 and 2 and 3/4. All right, that's what it is. That is what we need. So what we're going to do now, since we had that measurement, so I'm going to draw my line now, and I'm going to do some math here. I need my center point here. I need 2 and 3 and 5/8 on either side, in between 5, right? And I need this total diameter to be 5 3/8. So this is where it is. Okay, 5 3/8. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is use a compass, and I'm going to form my semicircle. If you don't have this tool, I'm going to show you what to do. So let's get right into it. So I have my measurement here. All right, and I have it like that. If you don't have, obviously you're not going to use this on the paper because you have pattern paper, but on the whiteboard I'm using it, you are going to use your compass. And if you don't have a compass, I'm going to show you how to use the old-fashioned method of doing it. So you are going to place your pencil at the mark, all right, and we are going to place, you can put a thumbtack here when you're using the pattern paper, and on the thumbtack, and you're going to swing it all around and come around. So that's how you form your semicircle. Okay, so that's what you do. So for the sleeve, as I stated, I'm doing my sleeve, say 10 inches. You can make it shorter. You can do 9 inches. 8 inches is fine. So now for the 8 inches, you go on either side, and you are going to mark off 8 inches. So, all right, extend your line and mark off 8 inches. You go do the reverse, 8 inches, extend your line. All right, and then you are going to use your compass again and form out the outer edge of the pattern. Okay, outer edge. All right, so for the sleeve, right, you just need one sleeve, but you need 2 pieces because I self-lined my sleeve. All right, I self-lined my sleeve. So I add my seam allowance around the edges. That's what you do, add your seam allowance around the edges. 1/4 inch seam allowance around your edges is good. Top stitch the bottom part, the part that I want to be the on the piece, and then I add also your 1/2 inch seam allowance here. You're gonna add that when you open it after you've stitched around the edges. This is gonna be on the fold. All right, this is gonna be on the fold right here, and fold over here. When you open it, it's going to be a full circle, and after I've top stitched this and press it underneath, and I add a row of just basting thread, all right, just to keep it, to hold it, so when I'm adding it to my armhole for sewing purposes, it's easy to work with, because you're working with two fabric there, okay, so it's like 3 layers of fabric you're working with. So that's what I do for that. And this is the sleeve. So for the sleeve, you need ×2 fabric, all right, because the reason why I did ×2 fabric also, by self-lining it, it gives it body, all right, so you need that, all right, it gives it body. But if you don't have enough fabric and you're making this dress, you can always fudge and just cut one piece, okay, and then you just do a baby hem on the edge. Okay, so this is for the sleeve, and then for the flounce, we are going to do the match for the sleeve. So this was the calculation for the sleeve. This was the sleeve. We're going to do for the flounce. All right. And for the flounce, we're going to use these measurements here. 9.5 and a 9 3/4. That is going to give you 19 1/4. So that's total is 19 1/4. And times that by 2, you are going to get 38.5. So that is going to be the circumference, okay? Pi d again. 38.5 divided by 3.14 is going to give you d. Now, when you divide that, you should get 12 1/4 equals d, and that's for the flounce. So for the flounce, you repeating the same step. You have your straight line, okay? You find a point. We need the diameter to be 12 1/4, so we are going to divide by 2 to get the radius. So we have 6 1/8, and the other side 6 1/8. All right. And you can double check to make sure that you have 12 1/4 there. Okay, good. So now you're going to form out the hem area that's going to be attached to the bodice, the flounce to the bodice, and you are going to form it out. Pointed there, your center, oops, and extend this, oops, smidge it. Okay, you can decide how wide you want the flounce to be. And so for my dress, my flounce was 10 inches, but you can make it shorter. You can make 8 inches is fine, or you can do 7 inches. Because of space on the board, I think I'm just going to do a 7-inch flounce or 6 inches. Let's see if I can get 6 inches on either side because of space. All right. Obviously, on the pattern paper, you want to be doing this, okay? You will not be doing this. I know. It will be separate. You have more space. And then, once again, you have to extend your line to make sure you get in the precise here. Extend it. And this is your fold. This is going to be fold. This is going to be the fold. Place on the fold. All right. And you need your 1/2-inch seam allowance. Just add your 1/2-inch seam allowance on here. Okay. This is going to be your flounce. Okay. Add it on to get the flounce. Now the last thing now for the other sleeve, the set-in sleeve, you are going, I don't have any space here, but you're going to trace out this sloper. You can do it, say 10 inches or 8 inches is fine from this sleeve cap, and then you just add your seam allowance. For the hem allowance, you can add 3/4 times 3/4, which is 1.5 inches for your hem allowance, and then you fold it twice for 3/4 for it to get a nice complete look when you finish the sleeve. Okay, now with that being said, we need to identify our pattern pieces. So this is the first one. All right, the center front, this is pattern piece number 2. Pattern piece number 3 is one sleeve. Pattern piece number 4 is the other sleeve. And I'm going to just draw a semi sleeve here just to show you, so you know that, okay, don't go off too much. All right, this is the sleeve. So that was 4. This is 5 for the sleeve, and I'm going to write here sleeve. And then we need facing. So we must add facing to this. I usually do my facing 2.5 to 3 inches. So you go 2.5, 3 inches. This is 3 inches from the neckline, right? You can do 2.5, it doesn't matter. All around. All right. And you have that facing. You are going to trace this around here. Add your seam allowance again. All right. 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is going to be your facing. And this is going to be pattern piece number 6. Pattern piece number 7 is going to be over here. You're going to go again 2.5 inches on the shoulder, all around 2.5 inches. But down here, because this stops here, you can go 3 inches down there or 2.5, and then connect it up like that. And this would be the front facing. Okay, this is the back facing. Obviously, you have your grain line here. This is going to be on the fold right here for your facing. So in total, you have 7 pieces of pattern, and you can now go ahead and lay that out on your fabric. And you can be funky. You can have contrasting color on the sleeve. You can be funky with the flounce. You can make high-low, and to make a high-low, you come in some more with here and taper it to nothing about up there. So the front is a little bit shorter than the back. Your choice. Or you can do the high-low from the dress pattern here. Whatever you do, you can just do go high, taper it to nothing about here, and it connects to the back. So I hope that this video has helped you tremendously, and that you like my dress and you will try it. Make one of your own, test it out, and let me know how it turns out. So with that being said, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also hit the like button. Share this video with others around the world so they too can go ahead and make a nice dress like this. Please leave a comment, because I like to read your comments and get an understanding and the feedback on how you're feeling and thinking about this channel and about the video that I'm posting, okay? So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye now. Cheers.